So without much further, allow me to introduce our very first speaker. I have to go a little bit quickly because actually this is already nighttime in his part of the world and where he's going to be communicating with us from. Our first speaker is Anant Agarwal, the CEO of edX. edX, an online learning destination founded by Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, as you know, is one of the leading MOOC organizations today. MOOC is massive open online courses, which in many ways might threaten our existence as universities. Being a professor of electrical engineering and computer science, he has taught the first edX course on circuits and electronics from MIT, which drew 155,000 students from 162 countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are not anymore competing with each other. We're competing with institutions around the world. He has served as director of CSAIL, MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, and is a professor of electrical engineering and computer science at MIT. He's a successful serial entrepreneur who co-founded several companies, including Tylera Corporation, which created a tile multi-core processor, and Virtual Machine Works. Ladies and gentlemen, straight from Boston is Anant Agarwal. Anant, are you there?
I'm right here.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without much further, Mr. Agarwal.
Thank you very much. I am delighted to talk to you. Can you all hear me? Very good. Thank you. So when I first thought I would start by apologizing that I'm not in the Philippines in person. But then I thought to myself that maybe I should not apologize because edX is an online learning initiative, and perhaps it is only fitting that we do the discussion online. So Chito Salazar, I also started out by saying that universities are threatened by online learning initiatives and so on. And I want to start by saying very clearly that efforts like edX are not here to threaten existing campuses and universities. Rather, we believe that we have the opportunity. I believe this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to really seize the moment and completely transform the way we do education, to completely transform and reinvent education. Education is a basic human right. It is very fundamental to economic prosperity and happiness and jobs. And in many respects, people also think that education can also be the path to better healthcare. So I just want to be sure that continually investing in education and thinking about education by governments, public sector, private sector, foundations, and governments is extremely important. So let me start with that thought in mind. And I'm hoping that you're able to see the slides. I will switch to slide number 2. Even though education is extremely important and a basic human right, we have several challenges in education. First of all, access to education is extremely limited. What you see before you, this is not a rock concert by Madonna, for example. What you see here is actually a classroom. And this is a classroom at the Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria. At the center of the stage is the professor. And while we all think of distance education, just imagine the student sitting way in the back. There, it is long distance education. Access to education has been a real challenge. And not only that, even the quality of education has been a real challenge. Our whole world has changed, but education has not changed. You see my daughter here. She is 15 years old, and this is how she learns. The most favorite position is listening to videos and music and so on online. They like to be flexible. They don't like to sit in one place. For those of you with children, you realize that our children are much more comfortable texting and tweeting and Snapchatting and emailing us than talking to us one-on-one. But the education system simply has not been able to take advantage of all of these new modalities and all that technology has to offer. And so the question is, how can we reinvent education and completely transform how education is done? So this brings in edX. First of all, edX is a nonprofit. We are a startup company, but we are nonprofit. We were founded by Harvard and MIT with a $60 million investment. Our mission is to reinvent education, and we have three major goals in mind. The first goal is to increase access to education. We want everybody in the world to be able to access a high-quality education, much like the air that we breathe. Our second goal is that we want to improve the quality of education, both online and all our campuses. Most of you are presidents of universities. I myself have been head of the computer science and artificial intelligence laboratory, an educational laboratory at MIT. So I fully understand and recognize all the challenges facing us. And our goal is to really try to improve education, not just online, but also in our own campuses. The third part of our effort is to facilitate research in education. We want to gather big data for learning and really understand how students learn so we can improve learning. So the way we work at edX is we have a number of university and foundation partners. We have about 60 partners. Universities like MIT and Harvard, Tsinghua from China, Peking University from China, or Australia National University from Australia. They put up these great courses on our platform, and these are MOOCs, massive open online courses that are available for free to anybody in the world, whether in Philippines or in Bombay, that has the will to learn and an internet connection and can take these great courses for free. Next slide, move on to slide number 5. So I would like to address and talk in a little bit more detail about each of these three aspects of our mission. Let me start with access first. I'll move to slide number 6. One reason why MOOCs have become so popular and so much talked about in the press is just the large numbers. In a typical class that I teach at MIT, I may have 100 or 200 students in my class. In the first course on edX, this was a circuits and electronics course that we taught about 2.5 years ago. You won't believe this, but we had 155,000 students from 162 countries that took this course. The 155,000 is a big number. This number is bigger than the total number of alumni of MIT in its 150-year history. So the numbers are big. As another example, the Introduction to Computer Science course from Harvard has 300,000 students registered in it. It is the world's largest MOOC. Just imagine teaching 300,000 students that can all have a very high quality learning experience as they take the course. So MOOCs have become very popular in the press because of these large numbers of students that take these courses. Move to slide number 7. So today, 2.5 years later, edX has about 2.7 million students from every single country in the world. We have more than 30,000 students from the Philippines. We have 300,000 students from India. We have about 225 courses on the platform, and many languages. We have courses in English, in French, in Chinese, in Hindi, Spanish, and Portuguese, and so on. And these courses are in topics ranging from history to computer science to engineering to medicine to economics to accountancy to psychology, even music. So we can teach all of these courses completely online to students all over the world. Slide number 8. The numbers aside, to me what's incredibly exciting by all of this, I'm on slide number 8 right now, is much more than the numbers are the amazing individual student stories. And I have real trouble telling these stories because some of these stories will simply bring tears to your eyes. So let me tell you one quick story. One of our learners is Claude Mukendi. Claude Mukendi today lives in South Africa. He was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo to a family of 14. So his father was supporting the family of 14, and he got admission into University of Cape Town in South Africa in computer science, and so he went there to study. During his first year, unfortunately, his father passed away, and he could not pay his fees anymore. So Claude Mukendi had to drop out of University of Cape Town, and he has been working for the past 10 years in South Africa. But now, with this availability of these free MOOC courses, he's gone back to his education, and he hopes to learn enough to get a degree in computer science. And there's incredible stories of all kinds of learners from all over the world who are taking these courses. It is absolutely amazing the kind of impact this kind of access to learning can have. Slide number 8. There are many ways in which these learners can take our courses. You can audit the course, and these courses are free. You can also get a what we call an honor code certificate for the course. So if you pass the course, you get a certificate for the course. We also have ID verified certificates of achievement, where we check the ID of the student, and if you pass the course and we verified your ID, you'll get an ID verified certificate. We also have sequences of courses where you can take many courses in a sequence, whether in computer science or logistics or education, and you can complete a whole program of courses on the edX platform. Slide number 10. Now the courses are free. One other thing that edX did, and remember we are a nonprofit, we decided that we also want to make our platform, this is a software that we built, offer these courses, we decided we wanted to make the software also available for free to everybody in the world. So we open sourced our software. So if you go to Open edX, you can see you will be able to download our software, and that whole effort has been absolutely amazing. We have seen the World Economic Forum use our software to launch a Forum Academy. Queen Rania from Jordan launched EDRAC, which is a Middle East platform. China launched Shuetong X, which is a Chinese national platform. France launched France Université Numérique. And most recently, Saudi Arabia launched a Saudi national platform. And another dozen countries are talking to edX to launch national online learning initiatives based on the open source edX platform, and it's completely free. So anybody can take our software and launch a platform for major use around the world. We also have partnerships with Google, Facebook, and other companies that are also collaborating with us to improve the open source platform. Slide number 11. So that is about expanding access by making the courses available for free, by making the platform available for free. Our goal is to educate 1 billion people over the next 10 years. Next, I would like to talk about how we think we can also improve the quality of education, both online and on our campuses. Slide number 12. So let's take a look at a typical edX course online and try to understand why we think online technology can help improve the quality of education even on campuses. So on here, you see a screenshot of the edX platform. And what we do is we replace the classroom lecture with what we call a learning sequence. So learning sequence is a sequence of interactive videos interleaved with interactive exercises. So you can show a video, followed by an exercise, followed by a video. So students are interacting and engaging with the content through videos and interactive exercises. So it's very important to interleave the knowledge transfer with interaction through exercises and problem sets so that students are engaged rather than passively listening. This form of learning is called active learning. And we've built the platform to promote this form of active learning. So if you will click, you will see an overlay showing up. There's been some amazing research, particularly by Craig and Lockhart about 30 years ago, 40 years ago actually, where they demonstrated that when you engage the student through this form of learning called active learning, then learning outcomes will be much better. And we can also do the same thing using online learning in the classroom. Slide number 13, I believe, titled Instant Feedback. The next major proof point as to why we believe that we can improve classroom education is through instant feedback. Now, when I went to school, I did my undergraduate degree in IIT in Madras in India. And like in most universities, you submit a homework and it may take 2 weeks before you get feedback on the homework. Online, what we can do is we can provide instant feedback. You don't have to wait a whole week or 2 weeks to get feedback. You can get instant feedback because the computer grades all the exercises. So here I will show you a video, and I'm hoping that the video will show, where I will show you the student entering a chemical equation and the computer automatically grading the equation. The students will get it wrong. They will try again. They'll get it wrong again and try again till they get it right. So this instant feedback brings an element of gamification like video games that can be extremely effective for students to learn. So let's start the next slide, and you will see a video showing a student entering the answer and then trying to see how they get something wrong and they keep trying. I hope the video showed. And when they get an answer correct, they get a green check mark. And this green check mark has become somewhat of a cult symbol at edX. What learners are telling us is that sometimes they even go to bed at night dreaming of the green check mark. Now, when's the last time that you saw students dreaming of homework? Even more importantly, this green check mark, which is a symbol of instant feedback, has reached meme status, where we found this meme on the web where it talks about the awesome moment when someone gets a green check mark for all their answers in the first attempt. So when something that you do reaches meme status, then as an educator, you know that you've reached, you were right. Next slide. Let me just check the slide number here. Slide number 18. Now, next I'd like to talk about how we can take what we've learned in these online courses and how can we apply the learning on campus. Slide number 19. So one of the things that you can do is for all us universities, we can think about bringing the online technology onto campus and create a blended model of education. So we did a pilot experiment working with San Jose State University in California. So in this experiment, so here you see a picture of the actual classroom at San Jose State. What we did in collaboration with San Jose State was that students were asked to watch edX and MIT videos and also do interactive exercises before they came to class. This is called a blended class. They would come to class, and in class, the professor would interact with the students, answer their question, and then the students would work in small groups and solve problems together. And the results were absolutely spectacular. Traditionally, in this course at San Jose State, 60% of the students would only pass the course. So the failure rate was 40%. They've done this blended class in the fall of 2012, and the failure rate fell from 40% to 9%. They repeated the experiment 3 more times, for a total of 4 times. And the amazing thing is that the results have been consistent. They've fallen to under 10% failure rate all these 4 times. So this blended model of learning can be extremely, extremely effective. Many experiments have been happening on blended learning, not just at San Jose State. I'll give you another example at MIT. So at MIT today, through blended learning using the edX platform, 2 out of 3 students at MIT are using the edX platform in blended learning on the campus. And the results have been remarkable. So just as one example, the solid state chemistry class, the professor blended the classroom, and at MIT, in the 5th week of class, a student gets a letter from MIT that says, if the student is not doing well, they get a letter saying that the student is not doing well. Traditionally, about 30 to 50 such letters go out to the student, about 10% of the students in that class. But when the class was blended, only 2 letters had to go out. So there's many sources of evidence that this blended model of learning is being very successful. Slide number 21. Finally, I wanted to talk about research. I mentioned there are 3 aspects to the edX mission: access, improving quality of education, and research. So let me talk about research. So on the edX platform, because all the learning is online, students watch videos online, they solve problem sets online, they have discussion with other students online, everything is online. So we can keep track of everything that is going on. We know what answers students are submitting, we know how many attempts the students have made, we know how long students are engaged, everything. So far, we have already collected more than 3 billion records of data. So this is the big data of learning. We can analyze this data and come up with deep insights into how students learn, something that could not be done before. And I'll give you just one example of a study that was done about a year ago. And here's the study. So I will ask you the following question. All our lectures are about usually 1 hour long, maybe 1.5 hours long. Whether it's Philippines or India or America, the lectures tend to be about 1 hour long. Similarly, when people started doing online education, even videos were 1 hour long. So this study looked at how long should videos be. And what the study discovered, because we can measure how long students watch a video, on the x-axis of this graph here, you see the length of videos, 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, and so on. And on the y-axis, it shows how long did students watch that video. What is amazing is that the median watching time is 6 minutes, which means that when videos are much longer than 6 minutes, the watching time actually goes down. So 6-minute videos are the optimal length. So we can get such studies done and understand how students are engaging with learning through this big data of learning. And these studies are compelling. Just this video study was done with 5 million video watching sessions. 5 million. Not 1, not 10, not 100, but 5 million. So this big data gives us compelling results that can convince us that these are good ideas. So let me stop there, and I would be happy to take any questions from the audience. Thank you.